We try to be as casual as you can, but also this is a public hearing, so we have to go by. In the case of our variances, we make the final decision. In the case of the zoning changes and conditional uses, we make a recommendation, and the commissioners have the final say on that, which will be in 3 weeks, is that correct? At their regular meeting. We ask that when your case comes up, that you step to the end of the table. We're recording everything, so there's a microphone there. You state your name and your address, and it's hanging overhead. And speak, and ask that you speak to the application. Don't make it, we don't allow you to speak personally about the applicant or about anything. Make it about the application, either the merits or what you consider the liabilities of the applicant. And we just ask that you be civil, and that's like what else. Yeah, please address the board, not the audience. So with that, if you'll look over the minutes from last month, see if we have any needed changes to those.
All good. Make a motion to approve as read.
Second.
Have moved second to approve last month's minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And that carries. Is there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I do have an addition, and it will be for a name change to a previously approved subdivision. I'd like to have that at the end of the.
Some more chairs up here.
That is the only addition that I have, and have no deletions.
Any old business?
No, sir.
No new business. Okay, first public hearing is consideration of land use change of variance request. Applicant name, excuse me if I mispronounced your name, feel free to correct me. Richard Sanfilippo. Owner address or property location is 657 Nexus Drive, LG Georgia 30540. Map and parcel number 3039A-095. Size of property 1.13 acres. Current land use classification R2 residential high density. Proposed use of property to build a residence on parcel. Variance requested 11-foot variance to the 35-foot front setback. We'll hear from our land development officer, Karen Kent.
Mr. Sanfilippo has combined 2 lots into Suwannee, and even with the combination, he's still finding it a little difficult to get the residents he's wanting to put on there to meet the setbacks. And one of the main reasons is because Flat Creek is to the back of the property, and there is a 50-foot buffer off of that stream. And then you have the 35-foot front, and he really doesn't have but a front and a rear, the way it's shaped. And so he's laid out a plan to build the structure, and the furthest away from the property line that he can get is 24 feet. And, still be able to put what he wants to on the house.
A front setback is determined by
Kusawati's old plats. And then Nexus Drive, this is not a corner lot, so it has to be Nexus Drive.
Yeah.
And both of these lots fronted on Nexus that they combined.
regardless of orientation of house, that's considered.
Yes, it's the road that is considered. We've sent the letters out, advertised, and we put the sign up, but I did get a call saying that our sign was not the right location. It was too far up the road, but I feel like it could possibly be moved or something, because we put it out 2 weeks ago, a little over, and then I got a call earlier this week saying that they felt like it was in the wrong place. And I've got an exhibit here that shows where their driveway's going off of Nexus and around to the location where they want to build a house. Give you a little bit of an idea of how it lays. It lays kind of level, but you got the big problem is the buffer off of that stream, I do believe. I did have a call with regard to this and a little bit of concern with being that close to the road, but that's the only call I got.
Anybody have any questions for Karen? Is the applicant present?
Is
Would you like to speak?
Sanfilippo, I'm Jeff Duke with Chance.
Please step to the table.
you missed that part.
Please state your name,
apologize for my
your
tardiness.
name and address. We're recording everything, so.
I'm Jeff Vick, county surveyor, and I work with Chastain Surveying here in town. Mr. Sanfilippo, he asked us to represent him here tonight. And this lot presented a lot of challenge to be able to build on it. And this is what we worked out to be the least amount of impact on our regulations and setbacks due to the stream buffers and spring head buffer that we don't work with there. Keep his footprint out of those. This is how we propose to handle it.
Anybody have any questions?
He's gonna have room for septic and all that stuff. And you're
I-
have to sign off.
I've been told that he's already got his septic in place and it's functioning.
Yes, sir.
So it's to my understanding that he's got room for septic after he builds his house.
What's it functioning?
Huh?
What's it functioning on?
I don't know.
It's ready to function.
That's what I've been told. I had the same question.
Okay. Does anybody else wishing to speak either in favor of or opposition to this application?
I'd like to speak if possible.
We'll make an exception if he'll speak loud.
Yeah, you just speak loud, sit right there.
My concern is
Please state your name and address for the record.
Robert Barrett, 726 Nexus, across the street from this location. Well, up the road a little bit. My concern is they are now classifying that as a Class B trout stream. They have just restocked it. If they start producing, it'll be a Class A trout stream. Even with this variance, with the setbacks that Coosawaty requires, which is 40 foot off back, 40 foot off side.
It's 35.
Oh, they've changed it again.
No, it's always been 35.
Well, they don't wait for it. No, it's anyway. 35 in each direction. Plus now you got the 50 foot off the creek. There's already been some pretty extensive work done down there where trees were cut right down to the creek bank, on the creek. Matter of fact, there's a log floating in the creek. I've already seen this stream go from a trout stream to no fish whatsoever because of some mistakes made. I don't want to see him put in a septic tank, which he did himself. He put it in himself. From what I understand, he brought it in on a trailer, brought in a piece of equipment, dug the whole stuff tank in. I don't know, I can't see. But nobody has seen the field lines that were put in. Now, where the county went out and inspected it, that's fine. Where are they? Because if it's up the hill, it's draining right towards the creek. That's gonna ruin it. No question about it. Sewage going into a creek will ruin it. There's already a water line run across the road and there's a water main meter sitting there too. Unless there's just a box sitting there, but I believe there's a water meter in it. So there's things already being done. I talked to EPD last week and we met there. And if what he's got dug out and what I was walked around is where the house is gonna sit, this house is gonna be a mini house, one of these tiny houses. Because it's not the total, if you put any size house there at all, you're gonna be over the lines. Totally. Now, if he can figure it out, good luck. And I'll go down and welcome to the neighborhood. I don't want to see our beautiful little stream down there, which has been that way. I've been up here for 15 years. That was a beautiful spot. until they went in there and started grading and cutting trees, and they got stuff stacked down there, trees they cut, and stuff laying in the creek. Now, I'd like to see that cleaned up. I'd like to see a lot of things, but, that was my biggest concern, is how do you get the septic tank line in there without draining it right towards the creek? Now, my second concern, where he's putting his house is right in a major flood zone. Water comes from 3 different directions into this valley. Unless he's putting his house on stilts, it's gonna get wet. If you've been around that area for very long, you've seen that creek almost come over the road on a couple occasions. Plus, you got the valley coming from up the hill that funnels all the water to the creek. Then, you've got 2 culverts under the road. Both of them come out just above where he's got his septic tank. So he's gonna have a problem with water. Now, if we can get around all that, like I said, and he get it built, I'll go down and shake his hand, welcome the community, and be the neighbor I want to be. But that's my concerns. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak?
I got a question for the surveyor.
Would you like a rebuttal?
Would you like to rebuttal? Would you like to speak to any of that? You don't have to.
Okay.
Okay.
We ain't trying to put you on the spot.
Lamar, go ahead.
Is that in a floodplain?
It likely is, to be honest. This came up last minute this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sanfilippo called us and said he wasn't gonna be able to be here.
Right,
So this is the extent of my involvement
right.
in this
Okay.
project thus
All
far.
right. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot.
I would say Flat Creek, this part of Flat Creek likely does have some flood zone.
Okay.
To what extent, I don't know.
Right. When he's backing his house up here, another, whatever he's asking for is that gonna get him out pretty close to the floodplain, or you think it's floodplain all the way up to the road?
Without reviewing the flood maps,
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't be able to tell you that.
Okay.
I will say this, our horizontal placement on the lot right now accommodates the 50-foot trout stream buffer.
Yes,
Of
sir.
course, this gentleman mentioned it is classified a trout stream. and
Yes,
that's- So we do accommodate the 50-foot buffer from the rest of the vegetation on the creek.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, that was the least impacted.
Right.
Just go ahead and ask for the variance on the setback versus trying to do a stream buffer variance.
Right. Is he, you said a while ago that his septic tank was working. What did you mean by that?
What I've been told, and I would direct all the septic questions to.
Yes, I would too, but is he using it right now? For camper or?
I'm not sure what they meant by that, what he meant by that when he told us that it had been installed and is functioning.
Yes, sir.
That's just what I was told.
When I put in a septic tank, we have to have a license. And if Andrea don't sign off on our license,
Exactly.
them folks don't get no power.
I don't know who installed it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm not
No, no.
your representative, but I was just trying to answer a lot of questions between.
Understood. I wish I had more answers for you.
Yes, sir.
But my knowledge on the septics is
Yes,
just
sir.
very limited.
Unless he's got a pump system pumping it back up a hill or something. And that would be on Andrea, like I said. I mean,
Yeah.
she has to sign off.
Ultimately-
Or you don't got no power.
Ultimately, it's environmental health.
Yes, sir, that's correct. That's correct.
On your site plan here, that documents 50 foot is covered everywhere from creek on both sides, correct?
That's right. Yeah, you'll see the 50-foot undisturbed state waters buffer is
Right.
denoted with a dash line,
Okay.
and it wraps around the lower side of the proposed house.
As far as house sizes, I don't think in Coosawaty they require a size.
I'm not aware of, yeah, a house size.
Because I know there's a lot of them little round houses that Connors used to build in there. They're really, really small.
There's a good mixture of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
There hasn't been any application for a building permit, has there?
Not yet.
So before you get your building permit, you would have to have something from Andrea
Oh, yeah.
stating that do you have an approved
An
system?
approved set permit.
That comes first.
And if there's already a
Flood maps.
septic system in there, he ain't gonna be able to use it.
Unless it's already approved.
Yes, sir, unless it's already approved.
What's our minimum square footage now?
500. Now, but I do believe Chris Watt's got 1,200 square foot. It's either
Do they?
1,000 or 1,200 square foot.
12.
12, okay.
Like mini houses, them little round ones are 1,200 square feet.
Now, the footprint of this place
A lot of
is
them are two-story.
more than adequate for
Yeah.
minimum square footage.
Yeah, I didn't know for sure, I figured
So,
that.
that's right here, it's not
meet
flip
the
flop,
1,200.
That's
Yeah.
a problem.
Just by, yeah, it's not looking at it.
It's quite large, so the footprint.
Just by looking at it.
Well, it looked like it on the drawing, I mean, it looked
Yeah.
like a.
Does anybody have any questions?
I'm good, buddy, I thank you.
I'd like to
We-
add to, make a
We-
way.
You've already been able to speak. After he's had his rebuttal, we don't let him
Okay.
speak. Okay, we'll close the public hearing and recess to our regular meeting. Is there any discussion?
I understand the gentleman's concern, but after hearing from the surveyor, you know, we have the setback from the creek. Eagle Mountain is okay with, they have no problems with it.
Now, the way that Coosawattee works now is if Gilmer County
Right.
approves a variance, when they get a permit, they just need a copy of that approval
So,
with
So
Coosawattee.
they're going off pretty much just whatever the real
They go with what the board decides.
recommends. By this topo map right here, looks like a pretty steep over here. I mean, he's backing himself up to get higher, that's what it looks like.
to be able to do what he wants to do, he would have to meet all the requirements of Andrea
Mhm.
and of course Karen's office.
Yes.
All the stuff that's out of our hands.
Yeah,
Somebody else.
basically, yeah.
But I know you don't get no power unless Andrea signs off on it. I mean, she's gotta have a.
Well, it's an approved system.
Yes, yes.
If there's not any further discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion we approve.
I'll move in a second to approve this application. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And that carries. That brings us to our first consideration of application to amend Gilmer County Land Use Ordinance, a conditional use request. The owner name is American Dama Society. Property location is 1975 Old Flat Branch Road, LJ, Georgia 30540. Map and parcel number 3078-007. Size of property 6.54 acres. Current land use classification A1 agriculture. Proposed land use classification A1 agriculture with conditional use. Proposed use of property, retreat for meditation and teaching. We'll hear from the land development officer.
The application for this, have been in the works for a couple of years or three, and I spoke with the ladies when they told me that they had some plans to do a lot of different things on the property, and right now, the bigger portion of the property is in conservation, and then this 6.5 acre tract is not there. We're waiting till the conservation is up before they can combine the two. That's one reason we still have two different parcels. For this first one, the proposal for that site is the meditation hall and classrooms and viewing meditation. Visitor residences, and that, I think within those visitor residences is where the classes will be held. And then the meditation hall. Actually, I think that the only thing on this 6.5 acre tract proposed is just visitor residences, and my impression is that that will be where they would hold classes. because those are the two things that they were wanting to do with the property. They have to get some clarification from them, because I think I've maybe confused on what they're wanting to do with which piece. But in order to be able to do these things, and having more than one use on the property, the only thing that seemed appropriate to me was a campground status that would allow for these different types of uses. Now, the advertising that I put in, I did not put campground status in it, but that was where I derived the meditation and classrooms from. I've not had any problem. I've had one email that did come through today that was worried about, the lady was worried about the entrance and the use of the existing easement and a lot of traffic. So that was her main concern, and it is also more so towards the bigger portion and not this particular piece. I've not had anybody call or ask questions about the 6.5 acre tract. And the legs are here so that we can find out exactly what they want to do with these two areas.
Does anybody have any other questions? Karen? Is that present? Would you like to speak?
Yes, my name is Amanda Liu. I'm the representative for the American Dharma Society. It's a 501c nonprofit organization. What we are trying to do is to build a hall for visitors to come and meditate with teachers. We will, throughout the year, with our schedule, inviting religious teachers to come over to provide teaching on meditation, as well as Dharma teaching in Buddhism. So that's the primary use. The 6.5 acres is the one that in the middle of the larger tract, and that one is not in conservation, and that's where we want to start, because we have to do fundraising to start our constructions from there. And once we got that settled, then we were expanding into the larger meditation hall, the memorial hall, that kind of things, once the conservation is complete and we can combine the two properties.
Okay, according to your plans for the small tract anyway, you have long-term and short-term residents on that property, is that correct?
That's correct. When we say long-term, we're not saying they will permanently stay. Long-term, that means it's a longer-term development. We're going to build for more accommodation. Short-term is sometimes we are thinking if people has what we call a van or any kind of mobile tractors or campers that they want to come over the weekend, we may be able to set up hookups for them to stay over the weekend, and at the same time can be meditate with people over there.
I'm Xiaoping Kai, her sister. This is something I would like to first identify your long-term and short-term resident means. How long means long-term? Because we are only teaching on seasonal, and so even the longest term they will stay, the most is about 3 months. Normally just about a week to 10 days.
See, our problem is, we don't allow, on a campground, we don't allow permanent residents on the campground. It's temporary residents only.
Yes.
So
If you consider living more than 2 months, that is long term. And then
I don't know the definition of the,
We're not intended to have permanent resident on site. What is really is a traveling teaching staff that maybe come here over a short period of time, and we have visitors or practitioners to come gradually over. Some of them come for 3 days, some of them come for 2 days. They will meditate. Some of them come here for 2 weeks and meditate and leave. So it's not intended for long-term permanent residents.
Even for the teachers.
The teacher is also traveling, we have to invite. It's not a permanent resident on site. So we will communicate to our followers and say, hey, we have this teacher coming from which country? It's, some of them from Myanmar, Malaysia, Colombia, or Czechoslovakia. So it all depends on where the teacher, and then we will post and say, we have a teacher during this period of time, and then we will have practitioners to come and apply to come over to the center and meditate.
How many people at one time will you have there?
Right now, we start planning with like 30 or to 40.
Okay, but first, we're doing the small application on the
Sorry, Dave, I-
6.5, so please talk to that first.
Okay.
Yes.
The 6.
Oh, no, go ahead. But this is an intensive application anyway, so let's don't confuse the two.
The 6.85, if you turn to the page, this page,
It's indication the visitor residence hall.
Okay,
you see that visitor residential hall. Right now, it's going to, we just have a floor plan draw for 8 small rooms. It's 12 by 18. 12 by 18. 8 of them, like a little motel style, side, back and back. So 8 entrance. It's not a 10 entrance. 8 entrance. So each room,
So it's how many people?
each room can only allow 1 to 2 person to stay. So that's a maximum 16 for this hall. And we still have a small cabin and the 2 trailer, right? Yeah. And each trailer can stay 1 person and each room stay 1 person. So totally will be 120.
plus campers if they bring campers.
There's no really, we really don't like the camper to be here because that's personal property. Every time they come up here, if they don't move away, it becomes a trouble to us. So we are not really enjoy for doing that. I want them to bring it over here to enjoy and then take it off. A lot of times they don't, they just leave their junk to our property.
Any other questions? Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak either in favor of or in opposition to this application? If not, we'll recess this hearing. Is there any discussion?
I can talk to Karen, can I?
Sure.
On this right here, it just says fit campground. Would it not be like a church, like a worship area, school? The reason I'm getting there, if we do a camping area, 6 acres, do what they want to.
Well, I was using it for like the cabins, because in the campground status, it gives you several different options
What
for.
I'm saying is, pull 50 campers in there if they want to.
Well, not without
No,
site
because,
plan.
yeah, because even campgrounds are pretty good, it's done by the souls, campground.
Yeah,
Well, I was studying on the sewage and the water on this place. And is it a commercial type thing that the inspectors has got to inspect the kitchens, cooking halls?
It would be, let's see,
I might be asking
Andrea would be the
way
one that
more
would
than
have to
I'm
sign
asking.
on that, if I'm like, would have
I
to
only
sign
got
on
6
that.
acres here, 6.5,
Yes, and I'm not
for
really sure.
all
the
this
size of
piling
it.
in there.
Well, and there's 2 structures, according to the map.
So that takes up 1.5 acres per one, right?
So they're too long
So that leaves 3.54 acres.
for parking, I guess, or for like.
Well,
It's
they
not
already
there.
have, they already have two structures on their
The,
house.
the, their plans are combined with this other, but we're still just considering this one, so that's what we're looking at.
You know, the reason I went geared towards the campground status is because of the definition of that. Let's see.
I don't know what category it fits under.
I don't either, I was trying, that's the reason I asked. And it says it's currently zoned R4 residential.
It mentions cabins and
It's
campgrounds.
actually A1.
Well, it says R4 residential in here.
That's, well, that they took from the website, and that would be like how that it's assessed in the assessor's office. They, R4 is not
We
a,
rezoned this
yeah, it's
agriculture
A1.
last year.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, this is the one that we did July last year, I believe. It was so that it could be combined with the 170 acre tract once it comes out of conservation. Let's see.
We look for the campground.
I found it on the use section, back to the
Got it right here.
definition, okay, you got it there.
Says lands containing two or more campsites which are located, established, or maintained for occupancy by people in temporary lodging units such as camp, tents, campers, motorhomes, or cabins for recreation, education, or vacation purposes.
That's the definition and where I come up with my
Oh, I
suggestion.
believe you, old buddy, I
No,
ain't,
I mean,
But
you
it's,
give it to me, is that what you
Go ahead.
because the purposes that they have intended to do fit
Falls,
in there.
Campground.
campground?
I've read it, but I'm not sorry.
Yep.
So the cabins is the only part of it is.
Well, the education.
Yeah. Any more discussion? Questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Was there anybody speaking, there was nobody opposed? Nobody here? Going forward with this now, anything they do, there again, it's gonna have to be.
This particular application will only apply to 6.5 acres now.
Correct.
The rest of that is on a different application.
Correct.
But it would be able to be blended into any other agricultural that they have, provided that it got a conditional use as well.
With this concept plan, that's,
But we have to look at it because it's a separate application, just
Correct.
like everything's on this.
Yeah.
Part of my problem too is it's almost has to have an events. Because we have meetings, you have, it's considered an event, and that's a separate conditional use.
If I have 100 people show up.
Well, as long as they can park them and it not get in the right of way. See, in ways, it's like that application we had last month, for the
they were having campgrounds and they applied for events too, because it was going to, they were going to host classes.
It's kind of vague, actually, to me.
And I'm still not sure what, it doesn't fit any category
We're dated.
exactly.
I should have invited him, I didn't do it.
The definition, in the way I read it, somehow fits that. And now how it's to be regulated and controlled is what I don't really
Who's
understand.
gonna police it?
Well, it would be policed somewhat. Well, it would fall back on Andrea to what extent she would be called out to permit or approve anything. I do not know. But there again, any other parent could be hooked up or anything to be done, it would have to go through her, it would have to be approved through her too.
There's no restrictions there.
Yeah, there's two. Actually, I don't know that there's not three. Because you go to where the little boards right at the end, you go to,
I didn't go back to where this was.
yeah.
Has David looked at this at all? What's his thought?
His opinion on this piece was not as complicated as the next one. On this one, he was a little bit concerned with the fact that I did not have campground status in the advertisement. It was intended, but I didn't put it in the actual wording. And he was a little bit concerned about that. But,
Part of my concern is on their plan, they say long-term, short-term, which is not allowed.
Can we table this if we talk today?
That's my feeling, issue.
Give them
Because
more clarity.
this right here, he's gonna have to give me a little bit more clarity before I vote yea or nay. That's my opinion, because it's too open.
And it's not like anything we've ever seen.
I ain't never seen it like that.
I don't want to go back and
The commissioners throw it right back in our lap.
find out something later.
They've got a nice,
Yes.
concept plan, and they put a lot of time and thought into it. But to get past the initial phase, I'm perplexed by the onset of it, how it's gonna evolve and develop and stuff. I mean, they got all around it plenty of property, but what we gotta be concerned about right now is a 6.5 foot.
Well, it really doesn't matter. That's not meeting.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to table this until we can talk to our county lawyer, because this is pretty new stuff right here to us, or to me. I'll say me.
Do you want to hear a second?
A second.
Moving second to table this application, all in favor say aye. All opposed, and this is tabled.
I just need to got table on this.
and that will settle the second one too, because you can do one and not the others.
Our second consideration of application to amend Gilmer County Land Use Ordinance, a conditional use request. Owner name is Terrence Wayne Revocable Trust. Parcel location is 1971 Old Flat Ranch Road, LJ, Georgia 30540. Map and parcel number 3078-005. Size of property 171 .54 acres. Current land use classification A1 agriculture. Proposed use land classification A1 agriculture with a conditional use. Proposed use of property retreat for meditation and teaching. Land development.
I think you'll have to just table this one as well, because it's the other acreage around the 6.5. And then maybe we can get just maybe a little bit more clarification on the plans. Plus, I think this one is going to need need to discuss with them about the the structures that will be religiously oriented and the rezoning for those.
If you go ahead and explain that.
Yeah, the ordinance changes that were made effective last week by the Board of Commissioners have caused some issues with this particular application. Anything that is a church or affiliated with the church
Religion.
would have to be zoned PI 1, which is Public Institute 1. And I think, and I want to get with the ladies and look it over and talk about it, but I believe that some of the things that they want to put on the property will have to have that zone. And I think in their best interest would be to just table
And
it until we
it's
can get
mixed
some.
use
Yeah,
combined.
you can't
And we
do
don't-
mixed
we don't
use
have
on one piece of property.
Mixed use.
And it wouldn't be able to be any of that done until the conservation is up anyway, because they don't want to take a chance on messing that up, so. I think that would be that's what they wanted to talk to y'all about too, is just the mixed use and the rezoning. Or that's what he said, not talk to y'all about, but that's what his opinion was for
Or
this.
allow them to speak on this. Let's do
How
that.
do y'all want to do that? It's totally your call.
If we table it, they're not gonna be able to speak.
Okay. Well, you can do it at any point if you want to.
I'm saying if I table it now, they'll not be able to speak
Yeah,
when it
if
comes
you
back
want them to be
to us.
able to speak.
Either way, yeah, I mean,
It-
that's a thought, now, I mean, I think that's the way it goes. When we table something and bring it back up, nobody speaks.
Well, if you want them to speak to this one before making that decision, that's
We
perfectly
can
fine.
withdraw it.
Would you like to speak on this application?
I think this is the same application as the number 1. The 6.5 is actually in the middle of the 771. As we know, the bigger piece is still in conservation and it's ended in 2023. Our intention was eventually will be combined and will be split, because currently we do have a farm operating on that particular property. So it's the plan that we submitted is a master plan, is for both parcel piece is as a one full comprehensive plan, rather than it's a one plan is not say, okay, I'll just do it here and not working on something else. But as I say, this is going to be a phasing. We won't be able to do everything in one phase. So it will have to start with a small place and start building up. So we thought that by the time we probably get to this particular parcel, the conservation property is going to be up, and we will be, at that time, we will be able to combine and subdivide.
And it helps, you have a very nice comprehensive plan, and it helps to see the bigger picture.
Right. So that's our plan. We can't wait until the conservation is finished, because there is a lot of front work that we have to do. We have to build our base, and we have to do the fundraising. We have to have a long-term plan as to how we want to develop this meditation center. So, but we can't go out and try and fundraise that if I don't have a plan or does not allow me to start, because we are based on the people's greatest their heart to do, to provide us the funding to build this place. So we need to be able to show them, hey, where your donation and where the rewards to the people who was able to enjoy the location and enjoy the property and be able to enhance their lives. So, that's why we need to have a gradual program to build this whole thing up. So that's why we need to have some kind of approval plan that we can at least moving forward to our next step. Because once we get certain parcel, especially the 6.5 acres, to be able to start as a starting point, then we can start preparing our program and to do our fundraising. and gradually start building up.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak either in favor of or opposition to this application? If not, we'll recess our public hearing. Is there any more discussion?
I would like, when it comes back, to have a little more specificity on what exactly is gonna be on the 6.54 acres. It's there, but it's pretty vague, what I'm saying now, unless I'm looking at it.
This big application, due to the zoning changes, it's not, it won't work. So,
I'll make a motion to table till we hear from our county lawyer.
I'll say.
moving second to table this application. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That also carries. Our third consideration for application to amend Gilmer County Land Use Ordinance, rezoning request, applicant name Mitchell Hensley, owner name Vera Hensley, owner of proper location 319 President Path Road, LJ Georgia 305 Road, map and parcel number 3035-030, size of property 0.33 acres. Current land use classification R1 residential low density, proposed land use classification A1 agriculture, proposed use of property combined with a .21 and a .12 acre corner with parcel 3035-29 to cure encroachments. We'll hear from the land development officer.
Let y'all have a look at this plat. This is what's been drawn up to show the two pieces that they need to take off of Mrs. Hensley's property and add to the poultry farm property, and it's the driveway on the one end. What was on the other end that you, reason you should cut that corner off?
Well, it's coming in too close to the chicken houses.
Okay, so let's give them a little bit of a, gotcha, they've got a little bit of a buffer between the chicken house and Mrs. Hensley's property, and she's on residential, the chicken house is A1, so in order to combine it, we have to get the rezoning done. I've not gotten any calls or questions on this one at all, and my office has no problems with the combination.
Mr. Applicant, President, you'd like to speak?
I don't know anything I have.
Anybody else wishing to speak either in favor or opposition to this application? If not, we'll recess back to regular zoning meeting. Is there any questions or any discussion? So it's pretty simple.
Let's see, this for the chicken houses and the way it comes in from the chicken houses. That's his road right there.
Yeah, it's driveway. You can't combine them without zoning the same.
They gotta be zoned the same. That's R1 now, and his is A1, and you gotta
Well,
zone these two.
this is a separate application, right?
Oh, okay. They gotta be the same zoning before he can combine them, is more or less what this is.
This is two different things, is it all on the same one?
I could get it all on the same one.
33 acres, so
It's
that adds up to
small.
33.
It's
Now,
combined,
this
one,
is-
two, one, and
This Miss
12.
Hensley's property here, this whole piece here is Miss Hensley's
Pure
property. And this
encroachments.
back here is the property for the chicken
It's
house.
both on the
Yeah,
same.
both
Just
of them.
to cut this little corner off of her property and add it back to this one. To give it the driveway and a little bit, see how close that is to that chicken house? He thinks it's some encroachment, some serious encroachment to the setbacks. So it'll help them. Out here, when you sell or anything, that it'd be a little bit too close for comfort there.
I mean, not trying to persuade you one way or other, but it's easy.
And you can look at your map on that one, Carl. Go back to the overhead that I sent you. No, come on back this way. And you'll be able to see what I'm talking about by looking at the tax assessor's overhead map.
here,
Yep,
here.
correct.
There's not any other discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve as read.
Second.
Moving second to approve this application, all in favor say aye. All opposed? And this carries.
Thank you, sir.
Our fourth consideration application to amend the Gilmer County Land Use Ordinance is a rezoning request. Applicant name is Anthony Arbucci. Property location is Lower Tails Creek Road, LJ Georgia 0540. Map and parcel number 30221-001. Size of property 1.72 acres. Current land use classification is R2. Residential high density. Proposed land use classification is A1 agriculture. We'll hear from our land developer.
With this application, Mr. Arbucci owns a large tract of land that is 104 acres that these two tracts, this one and the next application, abut, and he owns those as well, of course. And these two tracts were originally a part of Old Mill Rock subdivision, or Big Buck Mountain, I'm not really sure which one, but
And on the left,
when you
Big
come
Buck
around,
Mountain is on down the road.
or when you come around Lower Tails Creek, it's on the right.
Yeah, it's on the right.
On the right-hand side.
Turn behind Danny McCarthy's body shop,
Right there.
go down that way,
that's really
down
wrong.
there on the
That's
right.
really wrong.
Yeah.
Well, these two, and I he has a letter from his attorney's office that states that there's no homeowners association and no objection to these two lots being combined into this big tract. We posted the property, and I did get some telephone calls, and the main concern was intensive livestock purposes, and I explained to them that if he wants to do that, he already can do that. He doesn't have to come to the board for that because he has 100 acres. Once they understood that this was, going into that, and I'm pretty certain that Mr. Arbucci wants conservation on the property, so. Other than just maybe a little confusion on what he was asking for, I didn't have any call complaints.
On the zoning map, which other parcel is combined with?
The big
Big
green
440?
one,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Not parcel. Is applicant present? Would you like to
Here.
speak?
I have nothing else to add, I'm just trying to put them all together. It's not changing anything, I've owned that place since 1980.
Anybody else wishing to speak either in favor of or opposition?
Little Jean Taylor, do you mind address?
Yes, please.
I'm at 774 Nugget Lane. When I come in off the highway on 282, I pass your property. I've only lived there 5 years, but I'm on the Adopted Road program. I pick up trash, so I've gotten to know a lot of people in the neighborhood.
Thank you, that's nice.
People's concern, I live on 6 acres. I have a neighbor on 25 acres and 8 acres and so on. And we're saying he has a agricultural zoning, so he would pay less taxes for agricultural. The property would be taxed less.
If he puts it in conservation, I'm not, but
I don't see any farming going on. In fact, they just built a residence there. A driveway went in and a gate. And you can only see the roof of a building from the road. So I don't know if that's the house or one of the barns. He's got several other buildings. Just this year, the tax department has come with this new item that if your building is not, if it's unattached and on the property, that you're gonna, people over 65 will be paying school tax on that. So it actually increases my taxes $300, but I think they've rescinded that for this year, but we don't know about next year. But I guess people's concern to me was, okay, these are 2 more lots, 2 acres and 1 point something. If he's already got 104, what's he need another 3 for? I mean, to pay less tax, is that?
And I'm just trying to combine it with my big lot, that's all I'm trying to do.
Wait, just, after they get through, you can have a rebuttal.
But what keeps him from going down the street and buying all the property? Now he's got 500 acres, paying less tax.
This board is not concerned with it.
Okay.
With property values, yes, but the tax, that's not our department.
But agricultural means you're farming, you got fruit trees, you got grapes.
Actually, growing timber is agricultural use.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I grow timber.
It's one of the biggest agricultural products in this county is growing timber.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess the neighbors, their concern to me was that, why does he get to pay less tax? Because my property is owned residential, and that would be agriculture. Okay.
That's actually, like I said, that's part of the tax, the tax assessor's department.
Okay, well, and their question was, he already has 104 acres. He's already bought these other properties.
He just wanted to combine them together, so he has one tax bill instead of
Okay, but
several.
at the end of the day, I guess he gets a tax break. That we don't get.
I think it's legal.
Okay.
But we can't use it.
Actually, I pay enough taxes in this county.
And if he puts it in conservation, he has limitations on what he can do with it too. So but that's through this, I mean, it's through the county, but the state gives you a tax break, but also there's limitations on what you can do with it. So if he breaks conservation, there's a heavy penalty, plus he has to pay back taxes. So it's a give and take.
On agriculture, can you have a gun range?
Not without a conditional use.
Not that would come before this board, not a commercial.
It'd be commercial gun range, personal shooting. I can get out and shoot on my farm anytime, whatever, but as far as if I
For profit.
say, hey, Mooney, come over here, it's gonna be $25 to shoot today, it gives me $25. Yes, ma'am, that is illegal. But if I say, hey, Mooney, come on, let's shoot some skeets today, it's just,
So say he decided to have a gun club or range
he
there.
would have to come to front of the board and get a conditional use permit to have a gun range there. And,
How would the neighbors know? Would
there
it be
is a-
publicized?
Same as
Same
this.
as this.
Same way you found out about this one.
Okay, all right, that's it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak? Okay, Mr. Garbage, would you like to?
I don't have anything else. I'm just trying to combine the school lots with the 104 acres. I've owned the place since 1980, but long before police people showed up. You know, I've never had an issue with them. I don't have a gun range down there. I shoot down there occasionally with friends and family, and that's all I'm trying to do.
Okay, we'll close this public hearing and recess back to a regular board meeting. Any discussion?
He's just adding to his big point. I'll make a motion to approve as read.
I'll second.
Moving second to approve this application. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And this also carries.
Oh, he's got one more?
The other one.
Have you got one more?
He's got 2 lots.
I'm
He's
sorry.
got 2 lots, yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's got-
Our fifth consideration application to amend Gilmer County Land Use Ordinance, a rezoning request. Applicant name is Anthony Arbucci. The property location is Lower Tails Creek Road, LZ Georgia 254 Road. Map to parcel number 30221-002. Size of property 2.16 acres. Currently, land use classification is R2, residential high density. Proposed land use classification is A1 agriculture. Proposed use of property combined with parcel 3021-056.
16 minutes.
We'll hear from the land development.
Well, this will be the next lot up the street. They're adjacent to each other and to the 104 acres and same thing. Just what we're combining in with that and I do have paperwork that states that there's no HOA or reason that he can't move it from that old subdivision into his parcel.
Would you like to speak to this?
I'm good. I said, again, I'm just trying to combine those two with the other acreage.
Is anybody else wishing to speak either in favor of or opposition to this application? If not, we'll recess back to our regular board meeting. Is there any discussion?
No brainer.
I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Moving second to approve this application, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That also carries. Our sixth consideration of application to amend Gilmer County Land Use Ordinance, a conditional use request.
Did I miss yours?
You did. Applicant name is Mike
I'm so against it.
The owner name is LJ Storage LLC. The property location is Harold Pritchett Road, LJ Georgia 30540, map and parcel number 3065-123D, size of property 2 acres. Current land use classification is commercial, C1. Proposed land use classification is C1 commercial with conditional use. Proposed use of property is many warehouses, storage units.
I'll be on the
We'll
line.
hear from our land development officer.
I will. Well, this 2-acre parcel is, when you turn off of 282 on the Harold Pritchett, it is immediately on the right. It's flat, already has been cleared, and there's grass going through there. And it's straight across the road from what the North Georgia Christian
Christian
Academy
Center.
was. And then there is a stream to the back of it, but he's got a pretty good area where there's trees and bushes and stuff going up that would also help with the buffering for the R3 property that's behind this piece. And I've put the sign up, put the advertising in the paper, and have not had any calls or questions with regard to this. There's quite a bit of commercial already around it, and it would be a low impact as far as Harold Pritchett Road and Amicalola and ETC. There would be a lot of extra use on those. Traffic-wise, I'm not really sure exactly how many units that Mr. Duke is planning to put on the property, but like I said, there's been no complaints or questions with regard to this application.
Would you like to explain about the buffering? What would determine?
Yes, now on the buffering, with the C1, you are required to have 50-foot buffer between that one and any other zoned property, with exception of C1 and I1. Now, this property has R3 to the back of it, and it has R1 across the street. But I asked David just to make sure as to whether or not that road could be considered the buffer, or if you would have to do anything because of the fact that it doesn't abut the R1 property. And because it does not abut the R1 property, it would not be held to that buffering. You would have to hold to it at the R3 at the back, but that one across the road, that the road would serve as the buffer.
That's my concern, I'm looking at it. It would eat up most of his property.
Oh, yeah, or even if you had to put a road right on the property line, it would
Yeah.
still be kind of senseless with the use that he's wanting to have, so I've got clarification from David on that.
Applicant present, would you like to speak?
Sure. Evening, my name is Mike Duke, I live at 88 Brooks Drive off Big Creek Road, Rocks Road from R&A Orchard. I'm also the owner of Carter Case Storage. This facility that we're proposing today is going to be what we call a neighborhood low-touch facility. It's going to be a smaller space, it's got less than 150 units on it. It's 4 buildings currently being planned, and the Chastain boys are helping us with the site plan on that one as well. They're doing the erosion plan. They've got it figured we're 50 feet away from the creek. That'll all stay natural, and actually we'd like to make that space available to the churches on both sides of it, so they can get down there with the Boy Scouts and picnic tables or whatever they want to do. The other thing is, since it's a low-touch neighborhood facility, we don't do 10-foot fences with barbed wire and all that kind of stuff. We use natural landscaping as a buffer. And since we got God on all sides of us, we'll figure we'll be okay with security, so. But anyway, it's low touch, it's a lot of landscaping. Again, we don't expect it's gonna be a big facility. We want it to be a neighborhood facility, keep folks from having to drive all the way into town to do their storage, so that's what we're proposing.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak either in favor or opposition to this application? Not, we'll recess back to our regular board meeting. Is there any discussion?
Is the reason it's already zone commercial?
It has to be a conditional use for many warehouses because it says storage.
Okay.
That's always my question too. It's not the same as storage. Or
Because it says
it
warehouse.
says warehouse. Take just a minute, we're going to change tapes here, disc.
I'd like to be some happy with a Gucci.
Is that
Huh?
is that her call?
She didn't like the shooting or something, what I heard her say. You shoot again,
I'll call the law with you.
the one that sat at the corner of the bank. Yeah, yeah. Hey, you never know, man.
Nobody does that when I come out there. Nice girl, yes.
You ain't trying to get a shooting range, are you?
I just need to get some rent money.
We need to give her a hard time.
Yeah, let's give her down the road here. She's nervous as a pet cat over here.
I'm so nervous, especially after the
I didn't see her come in. Did she come in late?
Yeah, she said, okay, I'll miss yours.
Just as soon as. Oh, did she? She walked in. We might have got to see some excitement on that.
Johnson.
Oh, Johnson, Jack Johnson? That's his daughter?
Yeah.
They live down in there, yeah, they live down in there somewhere, don't
Down in
they?
Florida, that nugget.
Now, is her husband still living?
No, he
Yeah, I was
died.
gonna say, he must have lived there.
I didn't know who she was. I just caught a glimpse. I was hiding behind the kitchen back here where she wasn't dressing.
I was trying to listen to Paul. I didn't hear what you said. I thought I heard it.
Lady said she heard that fall.
Wanda.
Everything, yeah, she is. She's coming in the high.
Any more discussion on this application?
No, I ain't got one. All the commercials right there. I mean, he's all over it.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we accept this application.
You'll hear a second. It's moving second to approve this application. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank
Entourage.
Oh, you had a gang with you, Dad.
Got the church.
Hey, there you go.
Jesus is in the room too.
Y'all ain't gonna say nothing ugly, are you? Don't say nothing ugly going out the door.
That's so, I thought they were here to oppose me.
She's a fan over here.
Our seventh consideration of application to amend Gilmer County Land Use Ordinance, a rezoning request. Applicant name is Samantha Walker. Owner name is D.F. Walker Properties LLC. Property location is 2218 Highway 52 East, LJ, Georgia 30536. Map and parcel number 3081-171C. Size of property 2.18 acres. Current land use classification is C1 commercial. Proposed land use classification is I1 industrial. Proposed use of property, a water bottling facility. We'll hear from the land developer.
To the best of my knowledge, this, Samantha's got a company that's wanting to operate a water bottling facility out of this location. We can't issue a business license or give permission, can't get the fire marshal or anything until it is zoned correctly. And it has to be zoned industrial for that particular use. Now, with industrial, there are a lot of things that you could put in there if it were approved. And a lot of them might not do well with that water behind you.
It's actually in the floodplain, isn't it?
Yes,
Flood
yeah, it is totally in the flood zone, but now it's been there, the building's been there, and we don't go retroactively on anything like that, but any additions that need to be added to it would have to meet flood specs, and, not that that's in plans, but just FYI. Now, when we put the sign out for this one, it went down the hill, because if you put it up at the top, it's in the right of way for the DOT, you're probably gonna lose your sign, so, we didn't get it advertised, though, there's probably a lot of people that might have been interested, but didn't get to see the sign, but it was in the newspaper, and the letters all went out, across the river and everywhere else, so, you know.
I got phone calls.
Okay, you
That's
may,
good.
instead of me getting them, you got them, but evidently they didn't mind, because they weren't here, or they weren't good with your explanation. But, yeah, there were no questions, calls, complaints, concerns, or anything with this.
Exactly is that listed?
I'm sorry,
How exactly is that listed?
water bottling facility.
Do we have any industrial? I didn't see them.
It is all
Very
over
little.
the,
I've been zoned industry.
The reason I asked that,
I thought the
I'm trying
same
to
thing, I was
sidetrack,
looking for it, and I thought,
because
well,
the meat
where's
packing
that?
plant tried to do that
I
one
was
time.
looking at
And they wouldn't let them
manufacturing,
have
but it wasn't.
industrial, but they give them agriculture was
Conditional.
No.
conditional use. Because in industrial, you can put a,
Well,
A nuclear power plant
I
there.
see how it was.
and I had never thought about it like that.
Oh, God.
It's the applicant present.
Yes.
Do you have your speech ready?
Can I use your mic in the stand?
Nope.
Okay.
You get the full.
We ain't a bad group, short of.
I'm still sweating, but, so basically,
Please state your name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because we're recording.
that's right. Samantha Walker, and it is P.O. Box 2001, LJ, Georgia, 30540. And the address of the property is 2218 Highway 52 East, LJ, Georgia, 30536. Currently, it is a vacant building, and we are trying really hard to get a lease in there. DF Walker Properties has come about because my father-in-law passed away, and we were given all that land, my husband and his brother, and I'm the manager of it. And basically, we have had a hard time getting anyone in there as is currently zoned. We've tried a couple different businesses that haven't fanned out. And the only thing, from my understanding, that makes this industrial is the fact that he is going to be bottling water, but he's not bottling it from the river or anything like that. He's literally having it trucked in. The bottling equipment is inside the building. He will bottle it and then truck it back out. That's the business. It's small scale, 4 to 5 trucks a day. And he has agreed to sign a 5-year lease, which would alleviate a lot of our issues there. I mean, we've had vandalism, people throwing rocks in the windows, stuff like that, because it's vacant. And I live right next door to the property, so I would appreciate it if there was something functioning in there as security. So that's
What is it zoned right now, dear?
commercial 1,
Okay.
C1.
I'm not objecting.
She started sweating all over.
She's already sweating. In commercial 1, can we not have a bottling company in commercial
No.
1? Industrial's the only thing.
Yeah. That was, it's here somewhere, I was not sure how it's listed, but.
You showed me.
I saw it.
Yeah.
It's on the table, that's all it says. Like, the only thing his bottling can be is I1.
I'm just curious, I don't imagine, but.
I know that, because
That just don't sound right to me.
Bottling and
bottling
distribution
and
plants.
distributing plants.
Yep.
I don't want it.
Why was I saying water bottling, but it's just bottling.
Just bottling, yeah.
Distributing.
Why are they not bottling river water?
I don't know. Good question.
That-
It is spring
that's
water.
That's a
but I don't know
fad,
if it's
is,
different.
I forget what they call it, natural water or something, but not doctoring it or not purifying their paint. People are getting sick from it, but it's a fad.
Oh, wow.
Just regular,
No thanks.
Anybody have any questions? Anybody else wishing to speak either in favor or in opposition to this application?
I got a question.
Any discussion?
Karen, I guess. On industrial, is there any different ingress, egress on commercial than they are industrial?
No, there is the exact same.
Good
The
question.
buffers
Because-
and all of that. Let me go back to.
I mean, I ain't being ugly, and I'm not trying to cause you confusion, I just gotta get it straight in my head. Because when you pull a tractor and trailer down in there, that's confusion with Blackberry Mountain 52. The feed store used to be down in there, that's the feed store, and an old tractor place down here. Is that
Yes,
correct?
so this is Georgia
Georgia
Poultry.
That's the old, not feed, but poultry, I mean.
It's still there,
It's
yeah,
still there.
they're still using
I donate
that.
lots of money to them, it's still there.
Oh, yeah.
And they have a lot of trucks that already come down.
Yes,
in
ma'am,
there.
yes, ma'am.
One of the good things about this guy is he's gonna fix this road as well for his
I was
trucks.
just worried
I don't
about
know
them
if
boys
that-
pulling in and out with tractor trailers.
Well, so is
So-
he, so
Yeah.
he's already agreed to fix the road
Yeah.
too, because he owns all the trucks.
Well, it's
So-
just a thought.
No.
I didn't know.
Really, the only direction they can do come
Commercial.
out is they have to go toward LJ.
Oh, yeah,
It's
they
too
can't
hard
come
to
back,
turn.
switch back, no, you can't.
Not
You'd
run-
be up in the
not run
Walker
over the gas
store and
pumps
around
across the
through
road.
there.
Supposedly, my father-in-law before, he tried to get a turning lane put on that side, but they wouldn't allow
Right.
it, so.
That's what I was asking, if the commercial and the industrial ingress and egress was different, because I don't know what the DOT right of way is out there, but it's probably over
Oh,
here in the
it's at
center
least
of the road.
100 foot, maybe 120.
It's probably over here in the center of the road, which it's already there, I'm not, it's probably grandfathered in from years ago. But that was my only question I had. You said 7 or 8 trucks, or 6, or whatever
4 or
exactly you
5.
said. Yeah,
4
4
or
or
5.
5, I'm sorry. But I was thinking, you got trucks coming in, you're gonna have trucks coming out just as fast as you got them in, because you're gonna purify it, you gotta get it out of the way, or you can't purify them more, you gotta keep it,
My
you gotta
suggestion
keep it going
is,
this way.
go ahead.
No, you're good.
No, my suggestion is, since there's, if you look at the list of permitted uses for industrial, there's lots of them that we wouldn't really want down there. I know the size of the property and the size of it, but especially in the floodplain, that we limit it to a bottling facility only.
If we can do that, I don't know if we can,
Yes.
because.
You can put
We,
conditions.
I'm not a fan of limiting it, but like I said, because of the size of the property and it being in a floodplain, like Karen mentioned before, if they put, somebody could put something in there that contains acid or something, the river gets up, and then, like I said, but water, you don't have that problem,
Yeah.
you're bottling water.
Before, when he even approached us about this idea, I was worried about how it might affect the rivers. So
Yes.
when he just said, oh, I'm just bringing it in, following it there, and then taking it out, there's no waste but water waste, so.
This would help them for the next person behind him. If they have an industrial zone,
Yeah.
and if his 5-year lease is up and he decides he doesn't want to renew, and you've got to find someone else to lease that building to, you'd have to come back for another rezoning
Right.
unless it was something that was modeling.
Yeah.
Because industrial, everything else is chemicals, acids.
And that's our concern, that it's something that if we knew about ahead of time, we wouldn't approve it.
Explosions.
You know, if you
Oh,
go
no, I understand that.
Under industrial, there is no limits. I mean, unless we put a stipulation on it, like I said, you can have a nuclear power plant right there. I mean, I know the spot ain't big, but under industrial, you can have a nuclear power
I get what
plant.
you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's.
But your size is.
You could use it for
Yes,
storage of all kinds of
dangerous
stuff.
territory.
If you approve this, then you're potentially approving something else.
You open the door,
No.
because we had a meat package.
Did he make one out for everybody?
Get into that, wasn't it, industrial?
That's a higher permit.
So we did an agricultural.
I'll take it back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you'd be in big trouble.
Is there any other discussion?
Now, I do notice that, like, for example, acid manufacturing and storing is a conditional use approval in Highway 1, so that would help with that. You couldn't just open up a business, if we're all gone 5 years from now, someone comes in and opens up a business, that conditional use for that. But
I think what Paul suggested is good. If there's
It would,
no
it would help them out, but
I just don't know if we can do that or not on industrial.
It would protect them too.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay.
agree.
In the county.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm okay with that. I mean, like I said, I live right next door to it, so I don't want anything weird down there.
Well, this will help you if someone comes along and says, well, now you're zoned I-1, and if I want to read, you ought to be able to do this. You can say, no, I'm so sorry, but this is what they said.
It's conditional.
You don't believe they'll see this Karen.
See that lady that just left me?
Oh, goodness.
If there's no other discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
Do you want to?
You go ahead and do it with the stipulation of water bottom, boiling, water bottom and boiling. I mean, I don't know how to word it exactly.
I'll make a move that we approve this application with the conditions.
Yeah,
The condition that it's be used for water bottling facility only. Any other use is disallowed.
I'll second.
Have moved and second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That carries on.
Sis, you need some time out?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Right faster than you think.
Why, you got that right, cause I was like, oh, what, just a minute.
There's a reason to a camp. Builder's supply.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I do have one question, I'm sorry. After this process,
It goes in front of the commissioners. I got the final.
In 3 weeks, if they're regular meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And they make the final decision.
and they make the yea or nay.
Yes, ma'am, they can override us.
Okay. Is that an open?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I don't think you get to speak unless they open the floor to somebody, if it's a real
He was a willing.
intensive case, you know what I mean? They'll open the floor sometimes, but
He was.
what Walker are
My
you?
stroke is he was.
And the youngest, Doug's youngest son, Nick,
He can have.
married to him. I know, I remember.
Okay, our next is a call for public hearing for next month.
I'm sorry.
We have a total of 1 case next month.
We got plates now?
Actually, see, I thought it was out of order. This is before the plats in the agenda.
Is it, there's supposed to be one right underneath those? It says none. If you look where it's got public hearings, or the calls for public hearings.
Calls for public hearings.
Should be right above it for the final place. It says
But I
none,
don't blame
but we've
him.
added
Oh,
one.
I thought I put it at the very
Oh, I'm sorry.
name change. Okay.
Yes. Now this one is the original, and then this one is the proposed name change, and that's all we're doing, is changing the name. And it's not been signed yet, but we could, I'll have a plat review next week, and then get everyone to come in and look at it and sign off on it, provided that you don't see anything missing or
Loud
be a
oaks
problem.
from Crystal Mountain, how they get all that?
They're buying it.
There's an owner change, and they didn't like the name.
Oh, okay, all right.
They didn't want to use that name, so they changed it to this. And they did all 3 pages, but nothing's changed except for the name of
It's
the.
just final, both of them are finals.
This is a final, and then this is just to change the name of
This
this.
has been recorded,
Yeah.
all it is a
In
name
08.
change.
Yeah.
And this is on one we have this month.
No, this is tonight.
Tonight.
I got 3
okay.
coming up next month. So I hope one of them is, he keeps getting booked because they don't get their covenants done.
Maybe someday.
Yeah, we're hoping that, I think all 3 of them are going to be
Thank
yours
you.
next month.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get three
I
in
was
the next
thinking I was
month.
going to get 2 preliminaries.
Yeah.
And then we'll have one reserve, hopefully,
Yeah,
finished.
we'll have 2 preliminaries, and we'll see about Walker. That's up to them. to get done.
Throw that in the
It's
trash.
reading the patients.
You throw that in the trash.
Do I hear a move on the plat?
I'm not no issue, I make a motion to approve as read.
Moving second to approve, say this is final plat approval, all in favor? All opposed? And then also carries. Next is call for public hearing, where we have a total of one case.
And 3 plats.
We're gonna call it in.
You can, I got 3 plats on the agenda.
Can we not get on a, whatever you call that?
Skype.
Skype?
Party line. And 3 plat approval.
Well, we're gonna have that, the things we just tabled.
Now, that is true. There will be
So-
1, possibly 2.
But David needs to be here, I don't care what he's, or
Well, it
somebody.
wasn't him. I didn't ask him. I just talked to him a little bit about it yesterday. I wasn't sure
Something
how
bad comes up,
how
he
to
needs to be
present
here.
it. Yeah. I'll have him to me next month and tell him it'll be hopefully short.
Do I hear a motion on call for public hearing for next month?
Make a motion to approve as read.
Do I hear a second? Moving second for the call for public hearing for next month, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Reports from staff.
Would like to welcome Carl
Yes,
to the
ma'am.
board and hope that it hadn't been too awful bad this evening. As Paul said, we have put you through the fire first thing.
You go, just, what you got with the read right here, study up on what, how, that's the reason we was trying to explain to you a while ago, where it's like he's 2 R1 pieces of property can't be combined into A1, which is pretty, I mean, that's a no-brainer there.
Most people don't know it till they start to do it, and so they
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah. And you go come to Karen and say, I bought this piece of property, I'm gonna put it with this, well, you can't do it. I mean, they don't.
And then you're gonna have the folks that come to complain about something that's not in front of the board.
And then when you come in late, like that lady right there, you cuss her and let them leave.
At least he left.
Yeah, I was waiting for her to jump up and dive on us. And Monday would say, you're out of order.
That's what your husband, I
Hey,
When do we
hey, are
get,
you on tape sale or on?
Yes.
We on camera?
when do we get copies of the new ordinance that's enacted? So we,
Hopefully next week, because, well, David should have it finalized. All we'd have to have is the resolution to go with it. But I've got, it's version 10, and what happened is there, the 35-foot front was approved, but that is only on state highways, county maintained or public roads. Anything that has a POA or a private road agreement is not applicable. So you'll be seeing one come through next month probably for a larger front setback, but it is going to be within an adult.
So we're gonna have a whole new book? Or are we just gonna have something to add on to?
Well, there was the.
Carl needs a whole book. is
The
what I'm getting
duplex,
at.
oh yeah, the duplex, triplex, quadplex, all that was added. And then the PI1, they did
You better get
fix
us a whole
that.
new book, if that ain't much trouble. Is it a lot of trouble?
Oh, no, it's just a matter of printing it and.
I mean, I got my old one in the dually car, or in the Jeep.
Mhm.
I just-
No, it won't be a problem, I'll just get the last version.
Yeah,
Print it,
mine's, I've had since I've started.
yeah. And
What
there's,
is that?
well, I'll fix you.
And Mooney and Jim's got the serious little books over here. Jim drags out that blue and you know something sticks in the house.
Just trying to
Get down and dirty.
clarification.
That's right, I understand, I'm not making fun, I'm all good, I mean, honestly. All good.
anything else? Comments from citizens? You get to speak now again.
You nervous still?
Anything you'd like to say?
Oh, no.
I was more
Keep up
scared
good
of
work.
the out loud the other people in here.
I didn't even know them other people was with.
I didn't either, that's why I was like, oh.
I never know who's with
Looking
who.
at the list, like, there's nobody after me. Really, I mean, just say something to me.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Aye.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.